Greetings, dear church. In case my voice starts playing tricks with me, it won't be me, but it will be this aircon. I have been introduced. My name is Sabelo Masugu, and I represent Home Health Education Service. Home Health Education Service is a non-governmental organization that deals on literature. We have got books on character building for kids. We have got books on health. We have got books on spiritual enrichment, marriage enrichment, and teenage sexuality. This afternoon, I'll be presenting books on character building for kids. I'll just present one set of books that are going to help us as we develop the character for our kids. These days, our kids are discovering quite a number of things on TV. Some are discovering programs, while some are discovering soapies. These days, we have got a powerful soapy called Uzalo. But today, I want to share with you that as other kids discover something on TV, your kids may discover something on the Bible. I have got a set of volumes here that can help your kids to discover something about the Bible. This is a set of 6 volumes. This is a set of 6 volumes. They start from Genesis to Revelation. The first volume tells us more about Genesis, and the last volume about Revelation. Let me share with you something from this volume, Discover the Bible, Volume 1. It has got a subtitle, From Creation to the Plagues of Egypt. So this volume will help your kid to know what happened in the beginning. It will help your child to know that the beginning began with God, and that if he wants to be successful in life, he needs to begin with God. As he discovers stories from the Bible, from creation to the plagues of Egypt, it has got subtopics, or I'll say it's an introduction to the first part of this volume. As you can see that it has got powerful illustration that will help the child to understand better what is included in the first volume. So every volume has got this wonderful introduction that I'm going to read with you this afternoon, as it introduces the creation story. You know, a number of people, they don't know what happened in creation. If you can ask them, what is it that was created by God on the first day? They don't know. So this book is going to help you and your child to know what happened in creation. So it has got this introduction that I'm going to read in your hearing. Shall we open the door? Inside, we will find a story that brings children great excitement and curiosity. It is the story of how God created the world. It is wonderful to know this story. First, the stars appear, then plants, animals, and finally, the humans. Would you like to know how it happened? Then this volume will provide the short stories that are going to give you the information what happened at creation. I like the way they summarize the story at the end. As I mentioned that we are discovering what? The Bible. So every story at the end, it provides information about that story that helps you to discover more about the Bible. Let me share with you this summary. The first man to exist was Adam. There was no one before him except God, the creator of all things. God created all of us. We are descendants of Adam, who lived many, many years ago. So this book will help your child as he goes to bed to know that what happened at creation. Other than for your child, when he goes to bed, to know what happened to John Cena or what happened to Kabashe. In the morning, your child should ask you, "So, Mommy, what happened to Adam?" Instead of asking you, "So, Mommy, what happened to Karabo?" So this book is going to take your child back into the Bible so that he can be amazed like this one as he discovers the stories from the Bible. I want to share with you something from volume number 2. As I mentioned, that it's a volume. It's a set of 6 volumes. This second volume, it talks about the stories from the Exodus to King David. Do you know that your child will be the future leader? Maybe your child will be the chief. Maybe your child will be the king. Maybe he will be the president. How David ascended into the throne. So this book is going to share with you stories that are going to help your child as we are building future leaders today. The third volume, from David's reign to King Hezekiah. I've got something to share with you from this second volume. It provides the introduction again. Stories of kings, of which with you I may say stories of leaders, as you know that we are building leaders today. So it gives this wonderful introduction again. David continued to be blessed by God. You will ask your child, "So would you like also to be blessed by God?" His kingdom was eventually established, and David prospered in might and wealth. It seemed as if David would never fail, but his life had ups and downs. When he did wrong, he had to suffer the consequences. But all in all, he always admitted his mistakes, never allowing them to interrupt his deep relationship with God. The stories that follow are talking of David as the leader of Israel. It never ends there. The last volume, it has got the stories from the book of Revelation. Let us remember that the book of Revelation had got stories that tells us that as the world began with God, it will finally end with God. It has got stories that are going to tell us that at the end, God is going to bring this world into an end. As we read these stories to our children, they will help our children not only to develop their character today, but the stories that we are going to read, they will live or they will create a feeling that will last forever in the hearts of the children. I want to believe, as you discover the Bible, your child will discover the love of Christ. As your child discovers the love of Christ, he will be discovering his way to heaven. I want to believe you have heard people suing each other, defamation of character, 1.5 million. So building a character for a child is not something that comes cheap. It comes very expensive, as we know that character is very expensive. So the value for these books can be calculated in millions. But I'm glad to mention to you this afternoon that it does not cost millions. It does not cost 10,000, although you may feel like it is very expensive, as you can see that it has got a hardcover and the quality of the papers and the stitching, which means it can last you for the next 15 to 20 years. Tell me of something that you can buy today and it can last you for 15 to 20 years. Even your car, even your furniture cannot do that. But this book, it will leave a mark in your family as we build future leaders. It does not cost even 5,000, this set of books, let alone 3,000. But this set of books can be delivered at your doorstep at only 2,500. So this month of April and May, it is on special because it goes together with another book entitled For Raising Your Kid, only for April and May. This is your set that you can have today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Furufero Ruvengo. I come from Home Health Educational Services. At Home Health Educational Services, when we were busy doing our service in our community, we found that in our world today, things are falling apart because of the drugs abuse in our children, because our children today, they are killing each other. Violence are happening every day. Moral decaying within our society, wrong models for our kids from the media, it's coming from the media, television, and all those other things. Our children are getting in trouble because of the influence of other children. Home Health Educational Services, we are proud to present volumes to try to help in this challenge. As Home Health Educational Services, we have a tool to use to protect our children. The tool that we are using is education, because education can change lives. All these things start at our homes. In Home Health Educational Services, the tool that we are using now, we have the volumes, 6 volume set to read. That's the Discover Bible. It's the hardcover books with more than 400 stories from the Bible. It's a color printed book with the pictures that can attract all children to read and to see. Even illiterate children and adults can understand the Bible by only seeing the pictures. Glossy cover and easy to clean, durable cover that you can pass it to the other children. That's the thing that you get in this volume set. Inside our volumes, papers of these books are quality and strong. Not easy to tear. There is no scary pictures inside this volume set. Colorful pictures makes interesting to read it. There are more pictures that appetize kids to read it. In the chapters of these volumes, index is at the back of each and every volume. Every chapter has the Bible reference verses of where to find the story. Each volume divided into parts. There is an introduction to every part. The stories are numbered that help to maintain continuation. Practical benefits that we found in these volumes. If you have more children, you can give each and every child his book to read. It helps to promote family worship. Even you as parents, you can benefit from it. These volumes helps to bring Sunday school at home. These volumes has got stories that never end in the heart of the children, but creates memories and feeling that stay in their lives. These volumes make the children library set, because in Home Health Education Services, we believe that home is a family school where character is built. And there is no school without books. That's why today we bring this Discover Bible set. I'll give this time to our presenter.
afternoon, Mr. Lamin. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, dear. How are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. My name is Kudzi. I'm coming from Home Health Education Service. Home Health Education Service is an international organization, but myself, I'm specializing in children's character building and moral values.
Sorry, come again.
I am coming from Home Health Education Service. My name is Kudzi, and I'm specializing in children's character building and moral values.
Please hold it right there. I'm a businessman, and I have no time.
All right.
I only have a few minutes
A few minutes.
before I leave for the next appointment. Closer.
All right. I'm glad that you've got a few minutes for me. I'm not going to take much of your time. I would just want to find out as of how many children do you have?
I have three children,
That is great. Boys, girls?
2 boys, 1 girl.
That is great also. Mr. Dlamini, did you know that it is easy to be a father, but being a parent is a different thing?
I don't know. Can you please explain?
All right. Being a father, you just need your body, but being a parent who can raise children with moral values and character, you need to use your brain. This is the reason why I am here.
Are you here to tell me that I've got no brain?
No. What I'm trying to say is that being a parent, you need to be equipped. And as Home Health Education Service, we have prepared a set that can help you to improve or to maintain your standards of parenthood. Therefore, today I've just brought a set which I would like to show you within a few minutes, if you do not mind.
You can go ahead. I'm listening.
Thank you for your time. Have you ever seen this material?
No,
It is your first time.
it's my first time, yes.
That is great. It may appear as a book, but it is not really a book. Especially for people who are busy like you. This comes as 6 manuals in one set, covering Genesis to Revelation. Your children need to discover the Bible. Why? Because on the television, they are discovering evolution and nothing from the Bible. So as a parent, as I've mentioned earlier, when you have manuals like this, you can use together with your children so that they discover the Bible, knowing that in the Bible there is the truth. And it will be also good for you. Let's say when you open, or even before we open, you can see there are some illustrations. They can use these illustrations just to pick the story from the Bible without even reading. It covers the kids that cannot read, even some of our parents who did not have an opportunity to go to school. They can get the story just through the illustrations. It's easy to read, easy to use. As you can see here, we are shown where the story comes from the Bible, so that you can use it with your Bible and get to know where the story comes from. You can see the stories are also short and sweet, so that you don't take much of your time. You can just pick 1 story a day or 2 stories during the weekend. By doing so, you can discover the whole Bible from Genesis to Revelations.
While you are there, children don't like reading.
You are not the
How
first
can you help?
assist.
Yes.
As I've mentioned earlier, this is not a book. You can use it just to refer. Let's take, for example, you have said you've got a daughter. If you want to raise a daughter like Esther, you don't need to read the whole series. You just pick the one which has got Esther inside, go straight to the story, and get to know what helped Esther to be the way she was. That is the referring part of it. So if you also want to teach your children about stealing, you just go to the index, you see where it talks about stealing, you go straight to that chapter.
It sounds interesting.
That
How
is-
much is the set?
The whole set is only 1.5. And I normally do my deliveries on Wednesday and Monday, but I do have a new set in the car. You can also either pay cash or in terms.
You said it's a set of 6 volumes.
Yes.
Can I buy per unit?
Yes, you can.
So you said it's 1.5, which means a unit is 250.
Yes. You can pay per unit. The only condition is that you cannot take a single copy, at least 2 at a time.
Thank you.
All right.
Can I pay now?
Yes, you can. We presented Discover the Bible yesterday, so we'd like to find out if you have got some questions or comments.
Can I see the hands? Raise your hands up so that I must see you, please.
What I was looking yesterday for, it's the Bible in story form. I was looking for those words. People like the words Bible stories in Bible form, or the Kinderbijbel, the children's Bible. That's what I want. And to compile these books, excuse me, my English is not that good, but you know what? I normally tell people that children remember all the stories from the TV because of the pictures. And they do not remember Bible stories. But here we've got the Bible in story forms with pictures on all the stories. And now we can help the children to remember the Bible stories.
Thank you. Maybe we can say that there is a bit of difference from the Bible story, that is the 10th volume, and Discover the Bible. And our main aim was for the family to really discover the Bible according to the title.
Thank you very much. Can I see the hands, please?
What I noticed about our literature evangelist, I was a bit scared because of the words that you said to your prospect. Like, to me, it sounded a bit judging. Like, if you go to a prospect and tell them that there's a difference between a father and a parent, some people definitely they think you have come here to judge me, and that's what the prospect said to you. So I think maybe in future, I'm also learning, as I was also doing that book for the first time, and I haven't read it. But I just wanted to try so that when, at least I would rather make mistakes here, so that when I go out, I know what to do. But I think such words, they're a bit harsh, especially to someone whom you are expecting to win at the end of the day.
Well, do you allow us to respond to that?
Yeah, you can talk.
According to my experience, I've been using that statement and I did not offend anyone. And I've been normally addressing to a group. You know, if you say it, and if they ask what I mean, truly they will discover that there is a difference between being a parent and being a father or a mother. So if you hear such a statement, you have to think then and see the need of having the equipment.
Okay. Okay. All right. On that notion, actually, I give you praise in terms of your confidence. That was good. But the challenge is just need to rearrange the coherence of your statement. Okay. You could have probably put it beautifully this way. Mr. Client, if you notice, we're living in a world whereby there are more fathers than whatever, just in a way that is not provoking, because other people, they can see a rudeness on the statement, and actually, no, just that way. Also, the book is available in Afrikaans, and also when you're selling, you can also put the parents, so that not only the kids, also the parents, the smart parents on top of it, it can be beautiful as well.
All right, as we are waiting for the next person to contribute, I can say since we're taught or we're told to focus only on one title, we could not mention other books. Like Smart Parent, as he's saying.
Brothers and sisters, I like to canvas with Discover the Bible. You know what? I thought I would listen to, you would tell the person why it's short stories, because you need to tell why it's short stories. Do you know what? We are living in a technological age. The influence of the cell phone, the influence of the laptop, the influence of the video, etc., cause children not to read anymore. So the stories is short and simple. It makes it easier for the child to read and to remember. You need to tell them why the story is so short. Also, colorful pictures. Why it's so colorful? Because the pictures speaks to the mind, and the child is able, according to psychologists, the child is able to remember the pictures and the stories 10 times more than what you can read. You also ask the person, you also tell them, do you know why television has an influence on children? Because it speaks to the mind through the eyes. It speaks to the mind through the ears. A book with full color pictures speaks to the mind through the eyes. And also, when there's no pictures, the author actually writes word pictures. So the image, the image is in the mind of the child. You understand? So this is very, very important. And also the language is simple. Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is the end of the time.
Discover the Bible through its wonderful stories.
This work, which is indispensable for the education of our children, presents over 400 biblical stories, allowing our youngsters to take a look at and enter into the enormous range of tales presented.
It is presented in 6 volumes, adding up to over 950 pages. Written in very educational speech and completely illustrated with colourful and meaningful pictures, in which your children can discover everything from the creation to Revelation.
The first volume covers the period from the creation to the stories of the people of Israel in Egypt, including the Garden of Eden, Noah's Ark, the first patriarchs, and Joseph.
The second volume begins with the Exodus, the stories of Moses in the desert, the 10 Commandments, the conquest of Canaan, the stories of the days of the judges, such as those of Samson or Ruth, the first kings of Israel, until the arrival of King David.
The third volume tells the stories of King David and King Solomon, the subsequent division of the kingdom, the prophets such as Elijah and Elisha, the decline in morality, the conflicts and the achievements in times of peace.
The fourth volume covers the period from the end of the kingdom of Israel, the Babylonian captivity, and the stories of Daniel, the return to Israel, the courage of Queen Esther, the great test of Job, up to the stories of other prophets such as Jonah or Malachi.
In the fifth volume, the narration of the New Testament begins by revealing to children the life and miracles of Jesus. His birth, his childhood and adolescence, the beginning of his mission, the stories of each one of his miracles and his teachings.
The sixth volume covers everything from the mission of Jesus up to the new earth. It begins with the parables of the Prince of Narrators, his dedication and humility, the Last Supper, the Passion, the Crucifixion, and the Resurrection. It is followed by the stories of the Apostles, the first Christian church, and its first missionaries, until it is concluded with the revelation of a new world.
As you can see, Discover the Bible through its wonderful stories is a very complete work, full of wisdom and beauty, an ideal tool for parents and educators which puts Scripture within reach of all children.